It really is taking its sweet time. There it is. All right. Hey guys, I'm Bethany Quinn, and this is Quintersectional Conversations. And I am here with Monica Schneider, or Special Agent Monica Schneider. And she's going to tell us about how she got to doing what she's doing and how she's staying sane during COVID and her kick-ass workout routines and a bunch of other things. So yeah, thanks, Monica, for coming on. I'm excited. This is going to be very cool. So how did you get how did you decide to become a federal agent?
That's really funny because I get asked that more probably than anyone else at work.
Really?
I've actually stopped answering it at work because usually people only ask it. It's not a kind question.
Oh, really? I mean it very kindly. I mean it as in you were a badass, awesome person, and
people not at work. It's not a weird question. At work, it usually is code for.
You're a woman. What are you doing here?
You're not my stereotype of my coworker. How did you get here? And I don't like it. But I'm happy to answer for you. There's a couple different things. So the straightforward one is, so my background is very atypical for my job. I have a law degree. I never worked in a firm. I worked all nonprofit, politics, organizing, route. There's a couple things.
Where did you work?
I got into a point.
Which nonprofits did you work for? Which nonprofits did you work with?
I was with Alliance for Justice for a while. I was with Alliance to Save Energy for a while. I was with, Organizing for Action for a while. I did some, piecemeal work with ACLU. And then a lot of these nonprofits work in coalitions. So with a lot of the environmental groups around DC, I had relationships, and a lot of the choice organizations.
That's really cool.
I like to say at work, if there's a dirty hippie nonprofit, at some point I was probably their hill person.
That's awesome.
I worked campaigns too before law school and a little bit afterwards. So organizing in all respects in nonprofit and policy. Honestly, I got to be close to 30, and you've probably heard this, nonprofit doesn't have middle management.
Not so much, no. Yeah.
I had reached a point where, a lot of these small nonprofits, they hire a bunch of people either right out of college or right out of graduate school, and they pay you $30,000 and they burn you out for a couple of years. And then they pay their executive director $200,000.
Yep.
And there's no levels in the middle. There's a few places that are larger nonprofits. There was that. So I was having a really hard time sort of getting to where someone with 10 or 12 years of experience and an advanced degree should get, both pay-wise and responsibility-wise.
Right.
And I wasn't really quite sure where to go. I'd been in a nonprofit at that point for a few years, and it was issues that weren't really in my complete wheelhouse. And so I'd kind of done everything there I felt I could do. Didn't really know where I wanted to go. Really hard to find sort of that next rung, because there's just not a lot of those middle jobs in that field. And I was also kind of mad in the nonprofit world. I spent my whole career working for places that want workers to have rights, want people to have work-life balance, want people to get paid for their labor, but don't do those things for their employees.
Right, absolutely.
And I was like,
I find it's really the hypocrisy that burns you out in the nonprofit world more than anything.
I think that was right with me. I was like, look, if I'm going to be a hypocrite, I might as well get paid for it.
Right. Totally.
But from my background, private sector jobs were not interested in me necessarily. They're like, you're a true believer. I was an excellent advocate / lobbyist, but I think big lobbying firms knew that I wasn't going to work if I didn't believe in the issue.
Right.
I wouldn't be effective. And they're hired guns. If you want to get paid a lot to be a lobbyist, you got to be a hired gun.
This is sounding a lot like my background. I had no idea that we had the same journey or a similar journey in that respect.
I was just, I was like, I'm almost 30 years old. I should be getting paid a fair wage for my work. That's not, and you get frustrated because these tiny nonprofits, you fight the same battle over and over again. And there's great reward in that. It needs to be done. But that also burns you out.
Right.
Because you never actually change anything. You're always playing defense.
Yeah.
Always. And so that was getting exhausting. And I was like, okay, I should at least get paid fairly for my work. I should at least, and I missed certain other things, I'd done a lot of international work in the past. I studied international law in law school.
Cool.
And I was just looking for something else. And I have a friend who's a little bit older than me, and she's been an FBI agent for, at this point, I think almost 20 years.
Wow.
And she, this was about 8 years ago now. She was like, oh, you should apply for the FBI. And I remember looking at her and I was like, they don't want me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never held a weapon. I don't like weapons.
Right.
I'm not like some kicking indoors kind of person. She's like, you're exactly what they want. She's like, they actually like it if you've never touched a weapon. They teach you how to do that.
Really?
They actually prefer it to people who learned at daddy's knee. If you talk to instructors, they're like, all daddy taught you was bad habits. Not 100% sure in reality, but
of course
they have an issue. And so she's like, and you have a law degree, and they're trying to diversify, and you think about problems in unique ways. You're exactly what they want. Go the application. They're hiring. They're doing a hiring. And so this was, I think this was in maybe 2013.
Okay.
And so when next time they did an open, all that stuff just starts. People are always like, how do you even apply for these things? It's just on USA Jobs.
Yeah.
It's the first step for all of these jobs that people think are so, secretive. It's just you can put a alert on USA Jobs.
Yeah.
Most of the agencies do one open call a year.
Okay.
There's a special hiring. And so they'll send out a thing, hey, you want to be a special agent with X agency? Here's the 2 week, this is up to 2 weeks, apply. And you just do it for USA Jobs. And so she sent it to me when it came out for the FBI, and they started fast tracking my application.
Okay, that's awesome.
And I was like, holy fuck, I guess she's right. I have some skills that she wasn't wrong. She wasn't lying to me.
Right.
Tracking it. We hit several hiring freezes in there that messed with that. I had left my last nonprofit job, and I had started, I'd always been pretty fit, but in a more like my heart wasn't going to stop sort of level of
Sure.
And so I really pursued, and I'll circle back to this later because I think it's important, but I started working with various trainers over the years to try to, they put those fitness tests online. They tell you what the fitness test is. They don't want you to fail it. They're like, here's what you need to do.
Nice. Cool.
And you have plenty of time. These application processes can take years. So if you're not capable, it's not that hard a fitness test. If you have 6 months, I don't care who you are, you pay enough people enough money to train you.
Yeah, you can do it.
you can get there. I'll circle back to that. But so I was kind of in this stuck place where I'd applied. I had a frozen FBI application because we kept having hiring freezes at the federal level.
Yeah.
I'd left my nonprofit job because I'd reached sort of just as far as I could go there. It was perfectly fine. I actually wound up being pretty prescient. About 4 or 5 months after I left there, they did a ton of layoffs, and there was some hubbub at the top, so it made it look like I knew something ahead of time. I didn't.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Sure.
So I actually looked smart in that sense. And this has been going on for a while. And I was like, look, at this point, I've been out of work for a long enough time that it's a problem.
Right.
It's looking like you're too big a gap.
Right.
I need to figure out, FBI is not moving. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. A friend of mine from here in DC that I went to college with was just talking to me, I don't even remember why we were talking. And she was just like, oh, you need to talk to my neighbor. And I was like, sure.
Right, exactly, totally. I love the neighbor one connection. You're like,
sure. Let's talk to your neighbor. What can it hurt? I'm like an unemployed.
Exactly.
I sit at home all day. Like all I do is work out at the gym, training to be Batman.
Yeah, totally.
And so she told me the name of her neighbor, and I was like, your neighbor's who? And she was like, apparently she knew him. He was the father of a friend of hers from high school, who at the time she was very close with. I think actually his son. So his son was our age.
Sure.
had gone to high school with my friend from college. They'd actually been close enough that I think the son actually lived with my friend's family for a little while when his dad was on assignment out of the country.
Cool.
He's in it. She said his name, and I was like, he's in the New York Times every day.
Wow.
Are you sure he wants to have like an informational interview with your little friend? And she was like, oh, is he? You know, she called him by like his first name.
Right.
No idea that he was this.
Important
I knew
person.
he was everything. New York Times every morning since I was 17. I was like, is he gonna? He was like, no problem. And so he, you know, set up this informational interview. He was about to retire as an ambassador.
Okay.
And I honestly forget at this point if he was retiring. He was either at the time, this was around 2014, the ambassador to Iraq or Afghanistan.
Okay.
That's why he was in the New York Times.
That'll do it.
Every day. I was like, do you know who he is? She was like, oh, is that? Yeah, no, he's important. He was retiring for the Foreign Service and going to teach at Columbia Law. So he was also a lawyer. And so when my friend asked if he would talk to his friend, any friend of yours, I'm so happy to
Totally.
So I set up this phone interview with him, and we were chit-chatting, and we, you know, talked about my background and what I do and what I was frustrated about in the nonprofit world. And at the end of it, he was like, well, it sounds like you really would prefer to be working in the government, so you might have some chance of influencing policy, influencing the way things are done. And you're a lawyer, and you sound really smart. And I know he knew some more of my background. He knew, you know, he's like, have you applied for diplomatic security? And I literally said to him, sir, I don't know what that is.
Right.
So no, I haven't. He was basically saying, those are the federal agents with state. The application is almost identical. If the FBI liked you, you're qualified. And then you get to do international work, you travel, you're part of the Foreign Service. And that sounds like it might be a fit. And so I put a little alert on USA Jobs. And when that came around, I went through the process, and they moved faster than the FBI.
Nice.
And very so cool. My job, I'm part of the Foreign Service because I'm under the State Department. But yeah, so there's that aspect. I do really want to say, I really do like my job a lot, but as you might imagine, it's a very male-dominated field.
Right.
I'm very atypical for law enforcement in a lot of ways. Both, just everything about me is atypical in the field. And both with what people expect within the field and when I present myself to people who are not. And I actually, when I would get mad, because I faced challenges at work on that front, and one of the reasons I also really like why I did that job versus maybe something else in federal service, where quite frankly, I get paid a lot more than I ever did in nonprofit.
Yeah.
Even though still, you know, compared to some private sector.
Of course.
But a very comfortable pay that honestly, I'm a tenured employee. Like there's job security with it that does not exist in the nonprofit world or the organizing or the campaign world either. There's a part of me that really likes kind of being the worst nightmare of some of my worst coworkers. That's the answer I now give at work when people ask, oh no, all those fears of yours, that's why I'm here. I'm going to change things from the inside. And I'm partially kidding when I say that.
Of course. You say it in a joking tone and you're not really kidding. You're not really that kidding.
But I'm not 100% kidding. I do think it's really important for there to be more women in law enforcement at all levels and all types.
Absolutely.
For a lot of reasons. And some of my coworkers, and I don't talk about my job online generally. I'm not going to really talk about it here. What I do. I don't go out of my way, but if somebody asks me what I do, usually it's twofold. I'll tell them, oh, I work at the State Department. And most people stop after that.
Sure.
But if they probe at all, I'm not secretive about it. I say, oh no, I'm a special agent with the State Department with diplomatic security. And some people get really poorly. They don't like to identify themselves that way. I just think it's so important because most people in either a benign way or in sometimes
not benign.
They don't like it. I'm not what they expect. And I think it's really important for people to say it. And I've had experiences at work I serve overseas in a lot of capacities. And sometimes it's cool that like, I really do think like I'm single-handedly changing not just the way people view America, not just the way people view women, not just the way people view law enforcement, but I'm doing all of those things. I love, there's a story I tell about, actually it was 3 years ago now, I just got the pop-up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I did a temporary assignment in Cameroon, and I was on my day off there. I don't know if you've been to Cameroon. I don't know if you know anything about Cameroon.
I have not, but yeah.
It's literally, it's in the armpit of Africa.
Okay.
Like it's in that little stuff.
Sure.
Just below Nigeria, on the west side there. I think it's considered part of Central Africa. My Africa geography is not awesome. I guarantee you I looked at a map when I found out I was going to Cameroon.
Yeah.
Where I was going in Africa. And, but it's an interesting country. Cameroon's the capital, it's a relatively stable place. Safe to walk around in most areas. I attracted an absurd amount of attention there in general as a white woman. There's not a lot of white people there, period. I was apparently exceptionally attractive to the populace of Cameroon. I got marriage proposals on the daily.
There you go. What more can a girl ask for?
They'd never seen a white lady with an ass as big as mine. Was pretty much the...
Got it. Yes. That was the sentiment.
That was why people wanted photographs of me on the street as a general rule.
Okay.
But I remember I was there. There's a mountain there that people hike on every weekend. They're actually very into fitness there. And they don't really have gyms. You see people doing squat. It's actually like now in the quarantine where you go outside and you see people doing squats and things on like random street corners.
Yeah.
That's Cameroon. It was like, they just like stop and do CrossFit. Like everywhere. They don't call it that.
That's
but like,
funny.
I remember my first day there, they were driving me around and I was like, people are just doing like CrossFit.
Yeah.
On street corners.
And they were like, what's CrossFit?
It was amazing. Yeah, they don't know what CrossFit is, but they're doing like squats and like calisthenics on all these like green squares, in these public spaces. And it's very much encouraged. They call it doing fitness.
Nice.
They're doing fitness. But so they do fitness on this like mountain that's like the equivalent of like a state park.
Awesome.
Basically on the weekends. And it's beautiful. You hike up the mountain. Some people run it. People do all kinds of things. But you get to the top. It's a really nice view.
Yeah.
And so most weekends, folks I work with, we get together and, walk up the mountain. And so I was doing this one weekend with a gentleman that I worked with who was a middle-aged guy, a little, older, not in great shape, not in terrible shape, but like a guy in his 50s. And we're walking up the mountain. And I literally, when I exercise, I don't know if you've ever exercised with me, I often wear like black shorts that go to my knee and like a standard tank top.
Right.
Wicking material thing. And I also wear my hair in pigtails.
Okay.
It's so thick.
Sure.
So I got my pigtails and my tank top. And on this particular day, because I knew we wouldn't be going very fast, I had like my film camera, because that's a hobby of mine.
Cool.
And we're hiking up the mountain. We're chatting. And these, in Cameroon, everyone has cars made out of like duct.
Yeah.
Just these absolute, and they're little. They're probably like Dodge Neons or something, like these little hatchbacky, wherever they can get.
Right.
They're all really small, and they're all really like glued together. There's accidents there all the time, and it's fine because everyone's car weighs 6 pounds, and it's made out of tape anyway. They're just like, oh, it's fine, and like. And so these guys had driven part of the way up the mountain. I guess this part you have cars, and this happened all the time around there. The car was stuck in a ditch. And they couldn't get it out. And so these 3 guys, they started approaching us and they asked my coworker for help. And you have to remember, French and English are both the official language in Cameroon, but that's a lie. People speak French and then English.
Yeah.
Their English they prefer to speak French.
Right.
Most in the capital, in most areas in Cameroon. I have about 30 words of French and I speak it with a Brooklyn accent.
Nice.
It's really terrible. I can make demands. I can get what I want. I can't understand you. I can ask you for things. You can tell me yes or no. That's my French. So we're there and they come over and, I'm supposed to be in charge of security, which nobody expects. And so I when they approach my friend, I'm like wary. I see these, 3-4 big guys, coming towards us. It could be some kind of ploy. And I took my camera off. I handed it to my coworker who does not work in security. And I said, you stay right here and you hold this. And I walked over to the car and I pushed it out of the ditch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
With help. I helped the other 3 guys.
Sure. But still.
We need one more person basically to
have
enough strength to push out of this ditch. And so I walked over. I didn't even think about the fact that like I'm in a country where women don't do that.
Right.
White women are rare, period.
Right.
And I don't speak French, really. And they only sort of speak English. They speak English a little better than I speak French, these particular people.
Right.
And but it didn't even occur to me. I wanted him to be safe, and I didn't want him to get physically hurt.
Right.
I was like, this guy's gonna have a heart attack. He pushes this.
Yeah.
And so I shoved him out of the way, had him hold my stuff, and pushed the car out before anyone even could think about this. And I didn't even think about it, but apparently he was telling me after they walked away, because they were just happy their car was gone.
Right.
Like, but at first, I guess they were like, what is she doing? Because like women don't do that. And so like I single-handedly in that case, like completely changed their view probably of like, everyone always knows I'm American anywhere I go. American. Right. Who are like, it was just very funny. He like would tell everyone this story that I pushed the car out of the ditch. So having really the opportunity to do stuff like that, I think I do have a little bit of a, my friends all joke that I'm like a ninja and like
totally
my job is very boring.
Yeah.
But
I've definitely made that joke before.
Push car out of the ditch. And like, push car out of the ditch. There were a bunch of things that happened on that. We have our local guards that work with us. And, I used to box in the afternoons in our gym.
Awesome.
So we would come out and I would be all sweaty and they'd be like, what are you doing? I was like, I was boxing. And you can see that these guys were like real. And I was like, I know. Because I have my PTSD when I'm doing it. I know. I look like a bunny. And that was hilarious because, remember, not everyone speaks English. So the one guard got it. He started laughing. And then I heard him translate bunny into French.
Yeah.
And then the other guy started laughing.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Well, bunny. I don't know the word for bunny in French either. But
I don't remember. That is not one of my 10 words. So.
Yeah, that's not on my list. But so, my job lets me travel all over. I get to defy some stereotypes, which, as I like to joke, my mother literally sang feminist lullabies. So that aspect of it. And I like, I've always kind of thrived as an underdog anyway.
Yeah. That is really baller.
I like that aspect of it. So
nice.
I think that's when people are like, how did you wind up doing this? Like, when we take the conversation that I believe in, like, service.
Yeah.
I was raised by government employees. Like, federal work is very safe. And my mother, people are always like, what would your parents think about this? And I was like, my mother would be like, you have a government job with a pension. That sounds great.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, my parents would love it if I did that. Yeah.
So like, but then also like, I do have these moments where I'm like, I've had moments in training where people, I was like, no, seriously, let me tell the story. So I was in a training once a couple years ago on the gun range.
Awesome.
They call it a stretch course. And I'm no sharpshooter. I like to say I'm the most adequate shooter we have. I'm the okayest shooter.
Sure.
I'm very adequate. But we were on a course, for practice, and they do these. If you've ever do weapons training, most of them end with what they call a stress course.
Okay.
It's like an obstacle course with a gun. Basically, you're kind of. This one was like they're throwing smoke grenades and they're making all kinds of noise. But these things, they really want everyone to be safe. So when you do a stress course, there's an instructor that stays directly behind you as you walk through it.
Okay.
Just in case something goes wrong. That's a safety thing.
Sure.
In most trainings. And so the instructors are right behind me. And this was actually a partnered one. And so I'm going through with my partner. We got an instructor right behind us. But this one, part of the stress is they're throwing smoke bombs and there's loud noise and they're throwing off like flashbangs and just and like they're trying to freak you out. You had to drag like 100-pound guy on a thing first and like a dummy on the thing. They're making you tired. You're getting smoke. It's dirty. But they also played sort of like psychology 101 with you.
Okay.
And they've been working with you at this point for about 10 weeks. So they know what your triggers are. But, you know, these guys mostly have high school degrees. Like, this isn't psychological warfare.
Sure.
So they're like, oh, well, so with me, the things that they would yell to try to freak me out while they're walking behind me for safety is basically like, girls can't do this.
Sure.
Because they know that's going to, you know, they're trying to get under my skin.
Yeah.
And apparently, I made such a face while we were doing this. And they're always worried about me since they didn't really get me and I'm different.
Yeah.
I was worried they were actually offending me versus like doing what they do.
Right.
And I guess I made such a face that when we finished, one of the guys came up to me after, one of the instructors, and he was like, we didn't go too, you know, they're always worried about getting sued.
Right.
Like, we didn't go too far,
funny.
did we? And he was a guy I actually really liked. And I was like, do you want to really know what I was thinking? We were going through it. You want to really know? And he was like, I was like, okay, you go tell. And I told him to tell his boss, who always got a kick out of me. I was like, this is really for him because that's who I was really thinking it about.
Yeah.
You make sure you tell him. And he's like, okay. And I was like, my mother did not sing me feminist folk songs as lullabies so some white dude can tell me there's things I can't do.
That's awesome.
Like 10 minutes.
That's hilarious.
He was expecting. And I did fine. Like, I passed the stress course.
Yeah.
It's not really, it's more like just got to do it.
Yeah.
Just got to do it. I was like, yeah, I was making a face because you made me drag 100-pound dummy while like bringing a rifle.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
that's
intense.
Making a face. It's fine.
I have one of those. I'll continue to make it. Nice.
Yeah. So I do.
I'm listening.
I do like that aspect because I've always, I think, maybe more than I like to admit, am very keen to defy expectations.
Yeah.
So there's that part of it too, that I do get a kick out of seeing people's faces when I ID myself, or I'm the one that shows up to run a meeting or to, you know, and that's not what people expect.
Yeah.
I think that's important, and I also like secretly really enjoy that.
Totally. Yeah. Do you have any No, I feel like that story that you told is kind of epic. So that scene, is that your favorite part of your job?
Right now, I do a lot of travel. I mean, not right now.
Right.
That's kind of typically on the assignment that I have right now. I'm home. I'm stationed here, but I'm gone 80% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I've been home, you know, pretty much straight a month. We're still working because obviously we're essential, but it's much less. And I'm obviously not traveling constantly like I would. And that's, you know, I go to all kinds of cool places. I see a lot of history up close.
That's awesome.
I mean, we often, depending on the trip, sometimes we actually get quite a bit of downtime, just the way flights work out.
Sure.
So you're getting to do, I like to eat vegan burgers in every country I go to, which mostly because I think it annoys my coworkers. Actually, because that's what I eat, but they're always like, where do you find vegan burgers all over? I'm like,
that's
not hard.
Really funny.
Google. I know how to say I don't eat meat in like every language. For the few things I look up.
That's really funny. Nice. So what are some of the most exciting places you've been? Are you allowed to tell me that?
Yeah. I mean, I've had some good trips. We actually had a really great time in Bratislava.
Oh, cool.
And that's actually the kind of place I like when I get to go to work because I probably wouldn't have gone otherwise.
Yeah.
And there's no reason you wouldn't go. It's a very safe, it's a very beautiful place. It's not
on the top 10 list
right away.
Right.
And it's like, it was a really fun, like we had a really good time there. And we got to spend a few days there. So I got to go, I was there, and then sometimes you're disappointed. I've dreamed my whole life of getting to go to Berlin. And of course that trip, we were in and out, and I was there finally.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see anything.
That's too bad. Yeah, of course.
But so that I had a really good time though in Bratislava. I got to go, we stayed for like a week in Santa's village in Finland.
That's really cool. They decided of all of the places in Finland, Santa's village was where you should stay.
It's like way up. It's like 6 hours above Helsinki. It's Rovaniemi. Okay. It's on the Arctic Circle. You can actually stand, like, I'm not good at science, but like on two, you can stand on the line.
Yeah. Very cool.
According to, I think it's UN declared, it's Santa's village. Like that's where you have to say Santa lives.
Okay. Got it.
But international law, that is where Santa lives.
That's hilarious. That is
I don't know how enforceable that is.
I was going to say, I feel like Santa would need to be the judge of that. And, I haven't,
There's
it's been a minute since I've seen
in Rovaniemi. You can go see all the Santa's villages. So we stayed in this like Santa's village hotel. It was like the weirdest place. And everywhere in Finland has bomb shelters.
Okay.
From when they used to fight the Russians.
Sure.
And so like I had our job is to be security. So I had like the keys to this like weird bomb shelter, in case we needed it. Which obviously, the chances of that were
right.
But this place had now become kind of like a storage hoarder's closet. It's been filled because like the risk of needing the bomb shelter has not been super current. Right. And so there was just all these like weird, I would go in there when I had the keys to it. So I like snuck in there to look around because it was super weird. And it was just filled with like basically like dead Santa decorations. Like if we had actually had to go in there because there was a nuclear war happening, we could have reemerged having lived on basically like MREs and fake Christmas. So weird. So there were just like, like weird broken reindeer, Christmas decorations.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Like filling this place up for probably 20 years. And I was like, okay, hopefully we will not need to shelter in this bomb shelter, but it is here in case the absolute worst. Right. My job is to prepare for the worst. So
I have to say that would be a really interesting movie, I
was fascinated by it. I was like showing my boss. I was like, so if there's a nuclear attack, we can go in here. This weird, creepy, dead. I have a key. Like we can get in. Yeah. Yeah. So I get to do a lot of. Actually, I really love it when I'm in charge of the hotels. Yeah. You usually get. I'm kind of like a very important janitor. I like sweet talk my way into getting them to give me all the keys. Nice. Which they don't have to do.
Of course.
If you're good at your job, you like sweet talk them.
Right.
I'll have keys all these like the weird backsides of fancy hotels, and they're weird. They're always weird. And so you just walk up and down the stairs and like the back hallways of like the downstairs of these like 5-star hotels.
Yeah. The like catacombs under the place.
Yeah, they're weird.
That's really funny.
You find weird crap down there, and there's just like, it's a whole parallel world to the actual hotel.
Yeah, interesting. So, what's the weirdest stuff that you found?
I think the creepy, weird old Santa decorations.
That's fair. That's fair.
They were weird.
Yeah,
I was creepy.
It would be a little hard to like top that, actually.
Yeah, and just sometimes it's just like. You learn that there's all these bizarre back ways to get from point A to point B. Yeah. In these hotels. And that's how staff gets stuff to like wealthy people staying there quickly. There's all these tunnels in a lot of these. So a lot of times we can like sweet talk access to that. And it's actually pretty cool.
Nice. Very cool. Well, these pretzels are almost done.
I'm excited.
I'm a little surprised. I feel like they're going to be more like buttery bagels. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I don't know if I didn't cut this long enough or if that's just how they're supposed to be, but I'm sure they will be delicious.
My French were pretty puffy. They were almost more like pretzel rolls, which is not a bad thing for me in that I love pretzel rolls. That was why I liked was so
good. This is, that's kind of how these are appearing to me. So, so then you will enjoy them. That's good.
Yeah. I want to put an egg and cheese on that. Like I want to cut it and make like a sandwich.
I think that can probably be arranged.
I got a free pizza last night from one of my neighbors.
Oh yeah, that's exciting. Were they just trying to get rid of pizza, or?
No, they told everyone in the building that they could order Timber pizza.
Oh, nice.
Which was just
very cool. Well, Timber is fantastic. You know, I'm right on the same block as them.
Oh, that's what the burger place is.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, Slash Run is Slash Run is further up Upshur.
I'm sorry?
Slash Run is further up Upshur.
Okay.
But it's on the same street.
Go there.
But yeah, no, I'm right near there, so it's good stuff.
They're probably my favorite of that kind of pizza around here.
That's
so I
good.
have the green monster, whatever
I was
they call
eyeing that the other day. Yeah, like kale and pesto, and I feel like one of these days that's going to need to happen, you know, so that I support.
I had one delivered to me last night, and they were really nice. I was like, I worked till 10, and so they held it for me at the desk. And you can get it delivered not fully cooked.
Okay.
So I just put it in the fridge and then heated it up.
Oh, nice.
A couple eggs.
Awesome. Very cool.
So I was very excited about that. I took half of it and I heated it today with a couple eggs, and I'm gonna have the other half tomorrow, I think.
Very cool. Okay, well, I don't have pretzel salt, so I'm using kosher salt. But
that's fun.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this.
It's good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited to be able to give these to you. Oh, and so you were talking about, you know, you're doing some workout routines. So how are you passing the time during the COVID crisis?
So I have a little bit of work. I actually feel bad because I'm such I travel so much with work, and honestly, I've lived alone my entire adult life. So I feel like I'm the only person whose life has barely changed with everything being shut down.
Oh, really?
I get to work less. That's nice. And still get paid. That sounds great. I mean, the only thing I've lost is I usually earn a ton of overtime.
Sure.
But my regular salary is fine.
Right. Yeah.
I'm actually still earning some overtime, but just less. Right. But that's certainly nothing to complain about when most people are not working.
Of course.
So it's I get my full pay. I work a lot fewer hours.
Awesome.
I usually, when I'm home, because people don't know I'm here, I like to watch Law and Order all day and read books.
Nice.
And sit on my couch and work out. The only things I was sad about was when the gyms closed.
Yeah, that was sad. Oh man.
And when the library closed, but I'd gotten a whole bunch of books out.
Nice.
Right before they did that. That was actually the one thing I did that was sort of not what you're supposed to do. When they said they were closing the libraries on Monday, you know, I made sure to run down there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Clear out a bunch of books.
Nice.
I felt that's probably okay. So I have, because I travel so much and I work out every day, pretty much always, I have tons of hotel workouts that I have. Where I don't need any space or any equipment. So I was doing that. I basically commandeered our condo stairs as my gym.
Nice.
The issue I've been having is because all of my workouts are now on concrete rather than in the gym. Yeah, that sounds painful. My Achilles has been aggravated.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
So I've been nursing that this week, which limited. You can always do something. Even with an injury and no equipment, I still do full hour-long workouts every day. You figure it out.
So what kind of stuff? Where do you go to figure out workouts?
I probably do I focus mostly on tons of core, tons of push-ups. I don't really have any weights here, but I actually pulled out my ballistic plates, which weigh something, obviously.
That's funny.
Are very uniform.
From a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I can do a couple things. I can actually wear the vest and do all those things. And obviously it's harder because you're wearing.
Right.
And people do that. CrossFitters have those weighted vests are designed for workouts, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I actually just have the plates loose and they're very regular, just like dumbbells are.
Okay.
And so you can do they're actually really good for tricep extensions. There's not a ton I can do with them. They're not very heavy. They're probably about 8 pounds together.
Right.
But, you can do these guys with them.
Okay.
Up the twists with them. And I can do reach for the sky, reach for the ground with them. We can do some stuff with them. And would I normally do that with a heavier weight? Sure.
Of course, yeah.
Fine. So since my Achilles has been acting up, I can't run the stairs as much, although it's starting to get better, so I can add that back in. But I was doing for a while just core, and push-ups on quick rotation because that's what didn't hurt my leg.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's a pretty good workout. But yeah, I'll go outside sometimes in like the Thomas Circle Church steps.
Okay,
Really
nice.
that area. There's a homeless guy that lives there that like recognizes me because I work out there so much.
Right.
So he's like, good job.
That's awesome. Nice.
And he's figured out I'm scared of dogs, so he keeps his dog like way back for me.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, good job.
That's nice.
He's like my buddy.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
So I do that, and I still like can meet with my trainer, and so I get some real weights when I meet with him because they've commandeered them from the gyms. But you got to be careful with that. But I mean, I'm waiting very patiently for antibody tests.
Right.
Because I feel very confident that with my travel, I happen to have hit basically every hot spot as it was a week before people knew it was a hot spot.
Oh, yeah.
Like 4 of them. And I was on maybe 8 commercial flights in that period that were all full. So I feel you can't bank on that, but
yeah,
if anyone was an asymptomatic carrier,
it was probably you.
Which was good because then once we came home, I actually was home and not talking to anyone for about a month before I actually had to go back to work. So it's actually what you're supposed to do. I was, but in that month, in between February and early March, I hit all the places basically and literally I'd be flying out on the day the news was hitting and which was there already.
Right, definitely. Yeah.
It's too late.
Right.
So I feel very confident that I was exposed. I was certainly exposed.
Right.
And you never know if I wasn't sick at all. I didn't have so much as like one cough, but they're saying that it could be as high as 50% of people. And
right. Yeah.
I often don't get the thing when everyone gets the thing. Mm-hmm. I often, I'm in very good health. So I'm very curious for us to get our antibody test game where it should be.
Right.
Because I would not be surprised to know that I have been exposed and have some antibodies.
Right.
And have some immunity from that. We actually were talking about it at work too, because, I'm fascinated by that, how it's always earlier than they think.
Right.
Every time they find an earlier date, I was like, cool, that's where I was that week. Like,
that's funny.
Like they just said they've had cases in San Francisco now as early as January.
Yeah.
I spent the first 2 weeks of this year in San Francisco.
Maybe you are the typhoid Mary here.
Well, we were actually talking about that because in November, we were at the Parthenon. And I imagine you've been to the Parthenon. And it's the most crowded.
Oh, wow.
It's the most crowded tourist site I've ever seen. It's like going to there's a few like that in the world. There's just no rules but to nut, 50 different countries, everyone together, touching everything on this site. Tons of Italian tourists, tons of Chinese tourists. We're talking late November.
Yep.
Something went around at work after that where everyone had a cough.
Yep.
Including me. I had a cough all through December.
Yeah.
That was unusual for me. And I felt fine.
Right.
But I had this cough that I could not shake. And I actually remember saying at the time, it's such a weird cough because my nose isn't running.
Yeah.
Not stuffy.
Totally.
What is this from? And it would just would linger. It was just this little cough and it lingered for like a month, even though I felt fine.
Right.
So I was like, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But between that and then my January and February travels, I'm like, look, somebody give me an antibody test.
Yeah, totally.
I have had this and I know they don't know if you have immunity, if you've had it.
Right. But still.
Whatever you get.
Right. Yeah, no, that's.
You have friends that are far more knowledgeable about public health than me, but from everything I've read, they're like, if it acts like a normal virus, you should have some immunity.
Right.
Having
I think a big question for them is how long the immunity lasts for. So hopefully at least until we get a vaccine.
So I feel less concerned that way. it is what it is. You know, like we'll travel again for work pretty soon. And, you know, I volunteered to go a little bit ahead of time because I don't feel like I'm a high risk person and live by myself. So if we have to re-quarantine, I'm not exposing other people.
Sure.
So there's stuff like that. And so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can do push-ups here, so it's fine.
Well, there you go.
I can do push-ups all day.
That's good for you. That's great. Yeah. I'm not as in shape.
They're fun. I just like do push-ups all day long. I gotta say, because of like what I can do here, like my obliques and my triceps look better than they probably have in a while.
Because you're just doing it all day. Yeah.
That's what I can do. I'm like, I plank all day and I do push-ups all day. So
sounds invigorating.
That's what I got. I ate some cooking. And honestly, it's the stuff I do normally. Like I like to cook from my freezer. Like I got my farm box today, so I'll cook some soups.
Nice.
If I fetch myself another onion, and like I'll hang out.
I can give you an onion. I have onions here.
I could use one more onion. I have one, but I have I could use a second to make some lentil soup.
I got you.
So yeah, that's pretty much. If anyone wants, like I've got all kinds of home workouts. I post them sometimes.
Yeah.
I posted them for a while, but they were getting repetitive. So it was sort of like, guys, you got it. Like this.
Yeah, totally.
I only have so many tricks.
Right.
It's basically, I mean, it's really just like 10 exercises, all of which you learned in gym class in different orders.
Yeah. That's funny.
Pretty much. That's the game. It's like you got burpees, jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups. Do them in different orders. Do them with different hits. Good job. Fill up an hour. Now you're done. And then stop. Like you did a good job.
Nice.
So I've got that going. But yeah, mostly I'm pretty content hanging out. I know I almost was worried about myself that like everyone's like, everything's so different. And I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
I know it is out there, but my personal
totally.
day-to-day is pretty much what I would do anyway.
Yeah, when you're home. Very cool. Awesome.
For work on that front.
Very cool. Well, this was lovely. I feel like you should come on the show again.
All people from like doing.
I don't think so. You get to travel. You get to do cool things. You get to travel. You get to do cool things. You're like a complete badass. I feel like it's very exciting.
I do take great pride in doing more push-ups than the dudes. That's actually why I do so many push-ups.
See, there you go. That I can get behind. That's pretty awesome. So do you have a record? What's your record?
I don't look at all like I can. They're always like the little chubby one with the pigtails. She's gonna like she did how many?
So do you have a record number of push-ups, or do you keep track?
For our PT test?
Or
I think it was 54.
Okay. Nice.
In 2 minutes.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. There we go. Yeah. That's a lot of push-ups.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute push-up test. You can't stop. You can pause and like plank.
Right.
I think you can actually go up into like downward facing dog under the rules. You have 2 minutes and you do as many as you can. And I often do just over 50, which actually exceeds my test. Like it's above the 100%
threshold.
For my age and gender. So it's
funny.
They're always a little startled. Yeah, I once did 108 sit-ups in the 2 minutes.
Wow.
Which was more than everybody that day.
That's awesome. That's really badass.
I take great pride at like kicking people's asses at the PT test.
I like it.
My bum leg, I'm not sure if I can do it right now, but I always put up a pretty good, I put up a respectful showing.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Well, we're coming up to the hour. Is there anything that you want to chat about before I let you go and you can come over and, actually the pretzels have literally a minute left. So I will show them to people on the broadcast. And
exactly where I'm going.
I'll message you and yeah, totally. And if you want to bring happy hour, we could do like happy hour too.
Yeah, I will come back here and I have a puzzle that I've been working on.
Nice.
I don't think I've done a puzzle since grade school. So
awesome.
I'm getting frustrated with my 1,000-piece puzzle.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say how many pieces and what's the picture? Do you know?
It's like an old-timey New York like one of those TWA
Oh, that's cool.
posters.
Nice.
There's just an awful lot of 100% black pieces.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's right.
So I'm having trouble finishing. I'm trying to finish out the frame. I've almost got it, but there's just like 20 all black pieces.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Here are the pretzels.
You should show everyone before I go,
Totally
so they can all be jealous of my pretzels. I wonder if they'll freeze. I bet they will.
I bet they will. Yeah. They look a little undercooked.
Because my friends
so
were saying that after like 2 days they were bad.
Here they are.
And they're fresh.
Yeah.
Pretzels. So. I'm very excited.
Yay! Awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you. Whoops. I should turn that off. Thank you again for being on the show. It was great chatting with you. You are really fun and awesome.
Thank you.
And I will see you soon.
I'm very excited about pretzels.
Totally.
I was like, I'll do anything for food.
That's what I like to hear. Fantastic.
You're gonna do what? And I was like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
When like people are offering me free carbs, I'm like very motivated.
Oh, I have carbs. We can make this happen. Well, thank you.
Where I go, and I'll put some actual shoes on.
Some what? Actual shoes?
Actual shoes on. I've got my dragon slippers on.
That is awesome. I love that. Nice. Wait, can you show me the dragon slippers? Nice. Those are amazing. And I'm really happy that you showed those to me. You also have really badass pajama pants on. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's my unicorn blanket. I actually put on real clothes. I am wearing a dress, but I'm snuggled under my unicorn blanket.
Well, it's awesome. Nice.
Right, cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks.
And I will get going as soon as I can.
That would be great. Oh, and I'm supposed to say, thanks guys for watching. This has been Quintersectional Conversations with Monica Schneider, and I'm Bethany Quinn, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and if you like what you're seeing, feel free to donate via PayPal to quintersectional@gmail.com. All right. Thanks, Monica. I'll see you soon. Bye. Right. Oops.